You may contain the urge, run away, but hold her down with doggy first. Breathe slow. Cetirizine, your feet see me again. Never kiss me again. Never kiss so. Do you know where the walking go? They go along to take your money. Do you know where the walking go? They go along to take your money.
Alright, so we're going to go over some tips for deploying a long gun inside of a vehicle. One of the big challenges to this is that obviously you're working with a very long weapon system. This is a legal length 16-inch AR-15, and moving this thing inside around a car is hard. But you're going to watch in this video, I have it stowed in that front passenger compartment, and when I bring it up, I'm high porting it over my shoulder. This is technically called a low ready high port position because high port means the stock is over my shoulder or outside of my shoulder. So we're high porting the weapon, and I'm bringing it up over the steering wheel as I go to exit the vehicle. That's one of your biggest obstacles to clear when exiting a vehicle with a long gun. And the other benefit of this too is that if I have a threat that's directly outside of where I have to shoot through that windshield, when I'm bringing it up into that high port position, I can get a really good usable sight picture just like this, high porting the weapon. And when I'm doing this, I'm actually using the charging handle, the inside part of the charging handle, for a cheek weld when I bring it up. And is it going to be comfortable to fire the weapon in that position? No. Am I going to get some kind of boo-boo on my cheek? Yes. But when we're talking about shaving fractions off of a fire exchange, an actual gunfight, we're not concerned with doing any superficial damage to our body. So when I bring that weapon up out of that passenger compartment and I'm high porting it over the steering wheel, if I have to engage directly out of the windshield, I can do that from here. That's not a problem. And from there, I'm swinging it out, to where I can, even if I have a threat on the left side of the vehicle somewhere, from there I can just go and punch that gun out and get on target right away. And this is a position that you'll see too with building-based CQB. If you're inside of a structure or something, this is pretty much your most common position. There's definitely some crossover here. When you're breaching through some kind of a threshold and it's really tight, bringing that weapon up over your shoulder as opposed to doing something where you're shouldering it and bringing it way down, you're saving a lot of time, because instead of having to completely bring that weapon up from there, you can already have that weapon in a position where you can fire it, and you can already get usable good shots off, just like this. It's not comfortable, it's not ideal, but it's better than doing a slower method where you have to completely bring that weapon up and acquire your sight picture. I already have a sight picture. That's where you want to be. Alright, so now we're going to talk about sling setup. When you're deploying a long gun inside of a car, you do not want all of this mess going all over the place. It will snag on something. It could snag on the e-brake, the steering wheel, the gear shift, the stalk levers on the side of the steering wheel. You just cannot have all of this going on inside of a vehicle. So we're going to talk about how to compact that sling onto the rifle itself in this next clip. Alright, so when we go to set up our sling, what we're going to do is loop it forward and then back over itself, like so. And we're going to tuck this loop end underneath the band, like this. There are different devices out there that are just for specifically holding, a sling to a gun like this. I like these Ranger bands just because they're so cheap and easy to use, and they're pretty much bulletproof and idiot-proof. And we're just going to keep looping that back and forth over itself until we have about this much slack in the sling. Because if you have the sling too tight to the gun, you're going to have a hard time accessing the actual controls, whether it's the safety, the bolt catch, if you have an ambi-mag release. So you don't want it super tight to the gun. You want, play in here so you can get your hand in here to do whatever it is you need to do. And the other big thing, too, when you're setting this up, is you want to make sure that it's clear of the charging handle. You don't want it up here where it's going to hit it and interfere with that in case you have to, clear the weapon for some reason, do a malfunction, clearing. You just want to make sure that's clear of the charging handle, and then you have a little bit of space in it so you can manipulate the controls correctly. And that's pretty much it. And then once you actually go to deploy this, all you're going to do, as you can see in the video right here, is just pull on it. And that'll unloop it from itself, and then now you can sling the weapon.
You may contain the urge, run away, but hold her down with doggy first and breeze blow. Citrazine, your fever see me again, never to see me again, never to stop. Do you know where the walking go? They go along the take journey. Do you know